Hi, Claire and James here. Just before we get stuck into this week's episode, we wanted to let you know the exciting news that the Midlife Reset audit is now live. This is a first of its kind personalised diagnostic tool designed for midlifers by midlifers.
In just 3 minutes, the audit will help you pinpoint what's really holding you back from living your healthiest, happiest midlife, and most importantly, provide tailored strategies on how to take back control. Midlife doesn't have to be a time of uncertainty. It can be an era of growth, discovery, and well-being. So to go ahead and take the audit, go to themidlifementors.com/audit.
Injuries can really set us back, and it's normal to lose our confidence or fear getting back to training. It's something that's come up for us and has pretty much affected all of our clients to varying degrees over the years.
So in this episode, we dive into 9 body and mind tips to regaining confidence after injury so that you can feel like you again and, of course, prevent it happening again. Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Mentors with me, James.
And me, Claire. How are you all? You're doing good. It's a double whammy. We did us last week, didn't we? We normally have a guest, then us, a guest, then us, but you've got a double whammy this time.
It's us again, but we have got some guests coming up in the next couple of weeks, haven't we? So that's exciting.
It is, but we are really, really excited about what we're going to talk to you about today, which is actually all around regaining confidence after injury. And this, actually, a client of ours asked about this morning. She said, have you done a podcast on this? And I said to her, I'm sure we have. And then I looked over and I thought, actually, we haven't. We've done workshops on this, but not a podcast. So to that client that reminded us of the beauty of sharing this information, thank you so much. I think this is going to help a lot of people. James and I get injuries, and they really irritate us. We know pretty much all of our clients at Midlife have had injuries to some degree. And so we're going to be sharing with you nine ways to regain your confidence after injury. But before we dive into that, what have we been up to, Mr. D?
Well, I've been running my men's course, which has been amazing. So it's the Optimum Performance Blueprint. I was just inspired like a couple of weeks ago. I really want to get information out there for midlife men to help them understand what's going on with their mind and their body. So I just put this free course out there. We got a great group of guys. Yeah. We were just going live at like 7 a.m. every morning. And I was talking about different things. We talked about, understanding testosterone, what's going on with it, myths around it, how to optimize your levels, like with lifestyle adjustments. We looked at evidence-backed ways to exercise, to help boost your hormone health, to lose body fat quickly, put on muscle. We went through nutrition principles. We talked about the role of beliefs. We talked about how living to your values and purpose, discovering what your values are. We looked at showing up better in your relationships.
Been a lot.
Communication. And then we finished with like goal setting. So yeah, it was a lot. I just wanted to give the guys like a real toolkit they could go away with. And it was great to see some of them so engaged on the live sessions and really get so much from it. So that was really great to run.
Yeah, and also thanks to the ladies out there. I have to put a real shout out and heartfelt thanks to the ladies that shared it with their partners, because I know there are some of our clients that did that, and actually some people that are completely new to our world that shared it with their partners as well. So you had a really good sign up for it, and it was just it was lovely to witness actually James sharing that information with the guys out there. It really warms my heart actually, because they need it. They need the support. So let's dive into regaining confidence after injury, and we've got, as I said, like nine tips around that. But I think first of all, maybe James, you want to share why injury is more common at midlife, because we're all experiencing it. There's not many of us that get away without having an injury at midlife, is there?
No, I think, listen, you can get injured at any stage in life, obviously. But I think by midlife, we've picked up so many knocks and niggles and things that we become more injury prone. And also there's a few physiological processes going on. So for instance, we produce less collagen. So our tendons and ligaments are less elastic. So, that brings up the injury risk. If we haven't been exercising regularly, we've let our muscle mass deteriorate. We're not as strong. That increases our injury risk as well. We bang on about that all the time. So it's basically understanding that, your injury risk is elevated at midlife. Things you can do to safeguard against that are obviously making sure you warm up thoroughly before you exercise, making sure you're always using good form when you exercise, that the weights you're using, if it's resistance, is appropriate for you, and make sure you stretch a lot at the end, which has been a big one for us. I personally, I'm a very impatient person, so stretching is just dull to me, but I've realised the real value to it.
So have I.
And it is frustrating. Like Claire and I both pick up injuries frequently. I think it's the volume of training we do as well. You'll just pick something up and then you've got to work around it. But I know for some people, if an injury is particularly bad, or if they're just not used to maybe training and picking up injuries, it can really knock their confidence as well. So
yeah, and I just also want to say, just on the how to avoid injury, really. I mean, it is a lot harder when we get to midlife, but just making sure that we are actually still doing weight training. I think, a lot of us end up doing lots and lots of cardio, but actually building the muscles and the strength of our muscles and the ligaments and the tendons, and making sure that we are putting in the effort to do that at least a couple of times a week. So weight training will help you prevent injury in the future. And also there is kind of some science around that mind-muscle connection as well. As we're aging, our brain is aging slightly as well. So that mind-muscle connection isn't as strong as it used to be. So sometimes we can be a bit off with that form, like James mentioned, and therefore that can create injury as well.
So the other thing you want to do is make sure you're moving your body in lots of different ways and different planes of motion as well, which is why, resistance is one thing, but why we're such fans of HIIT.
Yeah.
Because, that really is full body, lots of different movements. It's varied. It keeps your body guessing. But it is so effective in a short time. And I've got to go on a little rant here. Yet again, I saw someone, putting something out about, someone that's new to the space, a trainer trying to make a name, like, oh, don't do HIIT at midlife. It'll raise your cortisol and that's impacting all your hormones. Yeah, guess what? We know that. We know cortisol does negatively impact your hormones, but a HIIT session that is 20 minutes long is not going to raise your cortisol to that extent that it's going to impact your hormones. These people were saying they wanted to walk for 2 hours twice a week as well. I mean, if you've got 4 hours spare, as well as doing your resistance training on top of that, then good luck to you. But it's no more effective than HIIT, which can be done in 20 minutes.
I'm not going to lie, this really pisses me off, because it's like it's the whole menopause space, really. It's these women.
These were actually male trainers in their 30s.
Yeah, do you know what? That's even more annoying. But it's the kind of whole menopause space of, protecting our hormones, making sure that we have good hormone health and all that kind of stuff. And they're banging on. I'm seeing this all the time as well, James. Like, they're banging on about, don't do HIIT. It's really bad for you. Well, go out out walking for 2 hours instead. And you're like, really?
Yeah. Listen, knock yourself out. Walking for 4 to 6 hours a week, if you've got the time and you want to lose the weight really slowly. But if you want something that's effective, will get your whole body movement in, and has lots of research behind it as lowering your biological age by actually lowering inflammation markers in the body, then HIIT is for you.
There is so much science around HIIT. Yeah. There is so much.
If someone's telling you not to do HIIT at midlife, basically you want to hit in the other direction from them as fast as you can. Anyway, let's get on to regaining confidence. We're on a rant there.
So number one is really just honouring your feelings. Okay, so we completely understand that an injury, regardless of how big or small it is and how long that you've been in the recovery phase, just really honour your feelings around this. Know that it's totally normal to feel very fearful, actually, and low on confidence. So I think just giving yourself permission to feel the feels really there, and understand that you're not alone. There's not something wrong with you. You're not weak. You're not pathetic because you're feeling this lack of confidence and this fear around it. Giving yourself a bit of a break. Your body's probably been through quite a lot. So giving it some love with your mindset is really, really important. So that's the first most important thing.
Point 2 is take control of the situation. Listen, this is about getting back on the horse, right? You do not want to let things slide for too long. The longer we leave it, the more our confidence is going to degrade and fear can take over, right? It can become a big player. So it's about getting back in there, getting back in. It depends on the nature of the injury. Obviously, all injuries are different. And if it's a repetitive injury from something like running and it's something like your knee joints, you might have to relook at whether that's something you do. But if it's, you've pulled your back, this is something that I suffer from a lot. You've pulled your back with weights. It's about, okay, well, how do I work around that? How am I still going to work out, but like isolating my back, but working other body parts as an example? It's all about you feeling back in control of the situation despite the injury.
Yeah, absolutely. And number 3, obviously, is right up there as well. I tried to put these in order, but they're not really in order. You should be kind of doing these all at the same time. Seek professional guidance, whether that's
so
from
important.
a physio, or a personal trainer, or whatever that looks like for your injury, but making sure that you are seeking professional guidance. Actually, when you're doing the rehabilitation of the injury, it's a really important note. So, I had a foot injury recently. I couldn't even walk on it. For quite a few weeks, it was really frustrating. And of course, I'm not just gonna, even though I'm a PT, I'm not just gonna keep on doing what I'm doing, even though I know what I should be doing. I seeked professional advice. I went to a physio and they gave me some stretches and they kind of sorted it out. But again, it was just time. It was just actually giving it some time to rest. But please seek professional guidance when you're doing the rehabilitation, but also when you're about to go back into, when you've been given the okay and the all clear, seek professional advice around what that looks like. Because going hell for leather, another thing we see a lot of the time is you've had an injury and you're so enthusiastic that you can get back on the horse again, that you're over kind of like estimating what you can do and you're over-egging what you can do and you do too much. So this is really important. To give you confidence, you need to seek that advice, making sure that you go little by little back into it carefully so that you gain the confidence and don't create another injury.
Number 4 is set clear and realistic goals for your rehabilitation, right? So this just means understanding what the injury is and not rushing it. Be realistic with it. If you've pulled like a major muscle in your back, you're not going to be training your back again for some weeks. So just get that clear. So again, having a full picture and having a timeline will make you feel more confident around it. And again, won't force you to rush back into it, which is a real temptation.
Yeah, and that's kind of like number 3 and number 4 go hand in hand, really. Seeking professional advice and setting clear and realistic goals, they should go hand in hand. You should be like being advised basically by professionals what that step-by-step plan is to get back into it. So realistic and clear, so that you've got something to aim for that gives you that confidence back. And number 5 is so important. This is so powerful and something that James and I have banged on about forever, which is visualization. Okay, so do not underestimate the power of visualization. We want you, if you are feeling like things aren't going quick enough, that you're feeling really down, that you haven't got the confidence, I want you every single morning and every opportunity actually to visualize yourself doing what you want to do. So set those clear and realistic goals, seeking professional advice, and then start visualizing it. Start visualizing yourself doing the activity that you absolutely love. Visualize it, ensuring like that you really, really get into the feeling place of it. How does it feel? What does it look like? What can you smell? What can you hear? Like really viscerally get into the whole thing, because that's going to help you start making that a truth. Okay, the power of visualization. We know that we can build new neural pathways in our brain through things like visualization. We can absolutely create different chemical reactions in our body, positive chemical reactions, positive feeling, optimistic feelings when we visualize a positive outcome for ourselves. So really, really start doing that at every point that you can, because that's going to supercharge your recovery and supercharge your confidence.
Number 6 is reframe negative thoughts. And yeah, this is really easy trap to fall into, when you're injured, or, even when you're ill and you can't train effectively or train in the same way you were, it's easy to get into a really negative place around it. So instead of that, try and flip it around. Like, what's the opportunity? What else can I learn? What can I focus on? if I've injured my leg, what can I do on my upper body? Maybe there's new moves that I haven't done yet that I could figure out and like find new ways to train. There's lots of opportunities that can come from it. So just be aware of those negative thoughts and try and look for the positives.
Can I just share what I did with my foot? So as you know, like I love to run. I love to do HIIT. I love all of that kind of stuff. And I'd really gotten into going to a class on a Wednesday, which was a HIIT class in Hampstead. And I had all of my programs sorted out and I was feeling really, really good about it. And I hadn't actually since we got really ill in January. So I'd really got my mojo back. And then this foot injury happens and it took me completely out and I couldn't do anything for a couple of weeks. But then I was like, okay, how can I train differently now? What else can I do? So I created these different kind of like fun workouts. When I say fun, they were actually pretty brutal, but these fun workouts for myself. One of them involved rowing. By the way, I completely ripped my hands apart. I should have been wearing like little girly gloves, but I didn't. But I created these different workouts for myself where I didn't have to jump up and down. You know, I was using the rower, I was using the ergo ski. I was doing like little different things. And actually, I started to really enjoy it. My body was being worked in a different way. And I felt like I was at least doing something. So for me, it was a real switch in my mindset of actually, I know I'd normally train this way. I can't. I'm going to have to accept it and learn a different way to deal with it.
I think going hand in hand with that, reframing negative thoughts, is focusing on what you can do in the present rather than what you can't do. Again, it's the same thing really. We can get all too focused on like the injury and what that's stopping us doing. But actually, what's the opportunity? What can we do? You know, let's stay focused on the positives of it. What can we still do? You know, when I pulled my back, that can be quite debilitating because you use your back in most moves. But it forced me to look at different ways to train. Where could I isolate different parts of the upper body, different parts of the lower body? And what can I take away from that and integrate into my training? And
again, I think, you know, we are blessed because of obviously what we do. So we know how to, I'm saying all of that. My own experience, it's only because obviously this is our profession, this is what we do for a profession, and this kind of goes back to number 3, which is seeking that professional guidance. You're not necessarily going to know what moves to do or how to do things differently. So again, it's really, really important to get an outsider's view on that. Number 8 is really, really super powerful. Again, a mindset one around affirmation. So this kind of goes hand in hand with visualization as well as visualizing. Just be careful about the story you are telling yourself. You know, that what is that negative loop going on in your head? What are you saying? Are you saying things like words like can't, should? Are you saying lots of negative phrases to yourself? Because I want you to have a look at that. Ask yourself now, if you are going through a rehabilitation of an injury, if you are trying to get back into training and exercise, I want you to think about the language you are using inside your own head. Become very, very conscious of this. So right now, if you want to pause this or even think about it, if you're driving or something, think about the language you are using when you're talking about this injury. Are you putting real limitations on it? What are your beliefs around it? And then start turning those into some really positive affirmations, some positive language. So as well as that visualization, be like, I am improving every single day. I am getting stronger and fitter and healthier every single day. I am able to see the improvement every single day, and I am doing my best, and my best is good enough. This kind of more positive, optimistic language and these affirmations are again really powerful, can really help reprogram our mind, build new neural pathways, create different chemical reactions in our body. So visualization and affirmations go hand in hand very, very powerfully. So try and do them kind of at the same time.
A final point is, of course, make sure you've got a good support network around you and you've got some sort of accountability built in. Because again, you know, it could be like, I won't train because I'm injured. I just won't do anything. And you can let it slide and it'll be hard to get back into it. So make sure you're being accountable, you know, have that support network, have the buddy you go to the gym with, get a personal trainer that can work around your injury, anything that's going to keep you in the groove, keep you feeling supported, keep you accountable.
Yeah. And that's it really. So we've gone through the nine things there. And these things, you know, your confidence will come back. It's not something that it's like a light switch you can just turn on and off. But the more you start moving in the right direction and taking back control, the more confidence you're going to garner and create. It's the same as motivation. It's not just a light switch that you pull on, you know, turn on and off. So, and confidence is going to come through action. So just take those steps forward. go through that visualization process, go through the affirmations, seek guidance. All of those things are super, super helpful, but just be kind to yourself as well. You've probably been through a lot. It has set you back. It sets us all back. But just know that the future looks bright and there's lots of new stuff coming your way. And you're going to get back to where you were. Just be positive, have that goal, have that focus, and you're going to do great. Yeah.
All right. Sending you lots of love. Until next time.
Sending you lots of love. Take care.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you. So drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. And don't forget to take the Midlife Reset Audit now to receive personalised insights into what's holding you back from living your healthiest, happiest midlife. So go ahead and take the audit now at themidlifementors.com/audit.